This episode of Baking Day with Anna Olson is brought to you by Libman and Appetite by Random House. We'll be hearing more from them later in the episode.
Hi, I'm Anna Olson, and thank you for joining me for a baking day. This is a podcast series based on my new cookbook of the same name. It's packed full of recipes that are all about sharing time in the kitchen, baking with and for your family and friends. In each episode, I host a special guest, and we bake a recipe in our respective kitchens while we share stories, baking tips, and have a few laughs along the way. After all, baking isn't just about that delectable end result. It's about the journey to get there and building the memories. Today I'm baking with someone who reminds me just how fun it is to be young in the kitchen, Audrey McKinnon. Audrey was crowned the first ever Junior Chef Showdown Champion here in Canada just last year. And let me tell you, this girl can cook. She has an amazing palate, a great sense of timing, and the way she moves around the kitchen with such grace, it tells you she's a hockey player. She plays for the Brantford Ice Cats. Audrey's joining me from her family kitchen in Brantford, and I'm here in my home kitchen in Niagara. Audrey, hello! How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. How are things in Brantford?
They're good. It's starting to pick up pace again, so it's really nice to kind of get back to normal again.
Oh, good. And now what is normal for you? Are you going to school full time right now?
Yeah, I am. I'm very lucky because my school is very small, so I have the opportunity to go back full days. So that's really special to me.
Oh, that's great. And visit with your friends. And what grade are you in now?
I'm in grade 8.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fun because it really, school gets a little more challenging, but also more interesting at the same time. So I'm sure you're just loving it.
Yeah, I am.
Now, you received a copy of the new Baking Day cookbook, and of all the recipes you could choose from, you picked one in particular, and it was...
The Gourmet Gooey Brownies.
Now, what drew you, Audrey, to the Gourmet Gooey Skillet Brownies? What was it?
Probably all the chocolate in it. Not gonna lie.
Oh, you counted all the chocolate? Yeah. Especially all the chocolate we add in at the end.
Exactly.
Well, I think what really counts is we're layering in the chocolate. So this is a warm brownie. You serve it warm from the oven. But on top of that, we're going to add more chocolate into the brownie batter. Then we're going to top it with marshmallows. And then we're going to put more chocolate on top of that. So if you're up for that, I am too.
I'm pretty up for that. It sounds really good.
All right, well, you know what? I say let's get started because the first thing we have to do is melt our butter and our chocolate. So do you have a saucepan or a little pot ready?
Yes, I do. It's right back here.
Okay, so we want to put your half a cup of butter in there, and I haven't measured my chocolate yet. So if you've already measured your 4 ounces of chocolate, you go ahead and add it.
Okay.
All right, so I see the butter going in. I'm going to get my chocolate while you're adding the butter.
Okay.
So I've got just a little chocolate to start. I go through a lot, as you might expect. Have you measured out your chocolate already?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you have to chop it up first?
Yeah, I did. Mine came in a bar, so I had to chop it up from the squares to little tiny pieces because it was also incredibly thick.
Yep. Well, and you know what? You bring up an important point. So if you buy the squares of chocolate, that's the right chocolate to use when you're melting into a recipe like the brownies. So it's called couverture or baking chocolate, and it's very important to use that if you're making a chocolate cake, a chocolate mousse, any recipe that has the chocolate melted within it. What we add later, well, that can be any type of chocolate. So I have here, this is baking chocolate too, but it already comes in chip form, so I don't have to chop it because I go through a lot of chocolate. And so I'm going to weigh my 4 ounces. That's the same as 120 grams. Because you can't treat this like chocolate chips. Because depending on how you chop it, the volume could change in your measuring cup. So yours were in 1 ounce squares, so that made it simple. I poured too much chocolate into my bowl, so I'm gonna just put some back.
Come on, there's no such thing as too much chocolate.
But you know what, for the body of the recipe itself, if we added too much chocolate, it could actually change the texture of the brownie. How much we add afterwards, well, we can definitely cheat and add more there.
I didn't know that.
Because we're melting our chocolate and butter on direct heat, Audrey, you want to melt it on low.
Yeah, I have it on low right now.
So it's a gradual heat. The butter actually protects the chocolate so it won't burn too much. And you can just use a spatula to give it a stir. Now, tell me, Audrey, while we're stirring and melting our chocolate, you obviously have a thing for chocolate. What are some of your other favorite chocolate recipes or recipes you've grown up making your whole life?
Oh, that's hard. I have made chocolate mousse once or twice. I gotta say s'mores are one of my favorites because they're just everything good in a little tiny sandwich. What else is there? I love just eating chocolate bars. I also like chocolate chip cookies. There's one of my favorite desserts.
You can't beat a good chocolate chip cookie. Now, I can't remember, Audrey, when we were on Junior Chef Showdown together, did you have to bake a dessert? Was that one of the challenges? I can't remember. It was a while ago we did it.
Yes, I did. I made a chocolate lava cake with a flambéed banana and a banana caramel.
It instantly is coming back. I can picture that molten center cake and the flambéed banana was such a great combination.
Thank you.
Really restaurant worthy.
Oh, I just remembered something. The challenge that you added to it, the surprise coconut and stuff in it. Oh, that threw me off quite a bit.
Do you lean more towards cooking or towards baking, Audrey?
I lean more towards cooking because baking is very precise. I like cooking because if I mess something up, I can cover it up with something else or something delicious. Baking scares me because like one wrong measurement, your whole dessert could go wrong, and I'm not the most precise person. I like to add little things on top of other things.
Well, I think that's why you did so well on Junior Chef Showdown, because you were able to adapt on the fly. We did throw you challenges. We threw you curveballs. You had to choose what kind of fish you were baking. You didn't know what fish you were going to pick to have to cook a recipe from. And to be able to apply so much knowledge and some wisdom at your age, I have to say it was amazing how you impressed us as judges, which is why I just wanted to hang out and bake with you. So I want to see what's behind that brain. What makes you tick? So, Audrey, how's your melting chocolate looking right now?
My chocolate's going really good. It's very silky right now. It's just a little bit, there's some chunks that have to melt out, but it looks really good right now. It's just butter and chocolate, but still that looks very good.
It looks fantastic. And you know what, Audrey? I just made a mess. Whoops. Chocolate everywhere. This is why you were smart to wear a bib apron. I didn't lose enough for the recipe. And I'm just going to show you mine, Audrey. So it's almost melted, but like you, I still have, there we go. Whoop. I still have bits of butter in there because one thing we have to realize is butter melts at a higher temperature than chocolate. So when you're melting butter and chocolate together, the chocolate will melt first, and then the butter, depending on what size pieces you cut, may take a little bit longer. So I think I'm just finishing here. And so you'll notice because of the butter, the chocolate looks so glossy and shiny. How is yours coming along?
It's going really good. It's going really well. There's a lot of...
Oh yeah, look at how shiny it is.
It's still got some clumps in it, but it's coming along.
Yep, you just keep going. I actually have to grab a paper towel because I spilled this chocolate on my shoe.
Oh, that's not good. Oh my, it looks so good.
When you're starting with something that looks that good in the beginning, you know you're in good shape.
It's almost there, just a couple of chunks left.
Yeah, and you're smarter to melt on lower heat and let it take a little longer, because if you were to melt your chocolate on a higher heat, you risk burning it and scorching it, or it separates, and then those gourmet goo brownies just wouldn't be the best.
It's more gourmet crispy brownies after that, which wouldn't be very nice.
That doesn't sound as appealing.
I did that once. I added too much oil to my brownies, and they became like chips. And I was so upset because I spent all morning cooking these brownies, and they were crispy.
All right, you just tell me when you're ready on your melted chocolate, Audrey.
Okay, well, I'm almost done. There's just one chunk, just a singular one.
Okay.
It's very, very smooth.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like chocolate fudge.
It's like a chocolate ganache.
Oh yeah. So it goes in the bowl?
Yep, you called it. So now we need to cool it down. Yeah, that's it. Looks great.
Gotta get every last little bit of chocolate.
Now, I remember the first time I tried making this recipe, I thought, well, I want to save on dishes, so let's see if I can make the whole recipe in the pot and just add things to the pot that I melted the chocolate in. Well, what happened was the pot was warm, the chocolate was warm, and everything got too hot, and it ended up, my brownies were kind of greasy and heavy, just the way you were talking about when you added too much oil to your brownies. So we're smart adding it to a bowl. And now what we want to do is, do you have your 1 cup of sugar on hand?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so now we want to cool down the chocolate a little bit. So you can add that 1 cup of sugar, which sounds like a lot of sugar, but it's brownies. And to make them dense and moist, it just simply takes that much sugar.
And there's nothing wrong with a little bit of sugar.
Well, thank you, Audrey. There is nothing wrong with a little bit of sugar. And you know what? I think because we were chatting and talking, my chocolate is still a little bit warm. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to take a little break, and then we'll come back and finish these gourmet Gooey Skillet Brownies. Oh, serve them warm.
Oh, it looks so good.
Embrace the mess with Libman. Time spent in the kitchen doesn't have to be hindered by spilled sugar or messy sauces, flying cake batter or cookie crumbs, or even a sink full of dirty dishes. Go ahead, embrace the mess. From countertops, cutting boards, and cookware, to backsplashes, cabinet doors, floors, and quite literally the kitchen sink, Libman's collection of premium quality brushes, sponges, mops, and brooms designed with ergonomic features and environmentally friendly materials help you conquer kitchen cleanup easily and waste-free. So break out the bakeware and have some fun in the kitchen. Embrace the mess and live in the moment with Libman. Available at the Home Depot and Canadian Tire. And you can learn more on Facebook at Libman Canada and on Instagram at LibmanCA. All right, we're back and we're making these warm skillet brownies, and we're gonna top it with marshmallows, and I wanna hear about what you're going to add first, but we have to get the brownies into the oven before we talk about the toppings. So we've added our sugar to our melted chocolate and butter, and now it's time to add our 2 eggs. So you can add them one at a time, and then you want to whisk them in after each addition. Your screen just froze on me, Audrey, so I can't see what you're doing right now.
I just added my eggs in, and I'm mixing them in right now.
Okay, you can switch to a whisk if you want.
Yeah, I think I might do that.
Ah, smart. I'm still adding my eggs. I have to catch up to you here. Hang on. You're used to being on the clock, right? You're given your 20 minutes or 40 minutes, and you have to complete your dish. So
Yeah, that was probably the most stressful part.
I believe it. Now, obviously winning Junior Chef Showdown was probably the best moment, but outside of that, what was the best moment of being a part of a show like that?
I think the opportunities and meeting all of my friends, and we actually all stay in contact now, so we're all very close.
Well, that's great. I think I've seen some of your photos that you're still hanging out with your fellow junior chefs. That's amazing. You really bonded over it, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We became very close after, even just once the show ended. We just wanted to see each other again.
Well, it's amazing. Even though you were competing against each other for a big grand prize, there were 14 of you to start. And then, of course, the finale had 3 of you competing against each other. There was a lot on the line, but I love that. And I think that's one of the pluses. Being so young, you're in it for the fun of it, right? It's not as serious as some of the adult competitions. And I loved the vibe and the energy you gave off.
Thank you. Yeah, Junior Chef Showdown has been an amazing part of my life. It's given me so many opportunities to grow and to start a career, possibly. It's given me lots of choices and doors that have opened for me to just pursue what I want in life, and it's been really amazing.
It's so great to see that passion come through for cooking. And you know, these days we're really embracing cooking and baking so much. And so the fact that you're making that connection and able to connect through others, I mean, this is why we're here, right? We're having a baking day together because you really feel that connection through what we're making. And I think that's something special. So I'm doing more talking, less cooking here. Have you added your vanilla already?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you can add your vanilla extract. Some chocolate already has vanilla added to it, but not all of them do. And I find it amplifies the chocolate flavor of these warm chocolate brownies. Show me what you've got here.
I got a really thick batter.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Well, you know, there's a bit of a story why I just called it. I mean, it sounds obvious that this is a gourmet goo, but when I was about your age, I was so interested I loved baking because I like the fascination that you make this mess of ingredients and then you put it in the oven and something completely different comes out.
Yeah.
And so my mom would she would pull out ingredients that she didn't need for anything special, let me mix them together, and then I would make her bake it, and then it would come out of the oven, and unfortunately I would make her eat it. But I wasn't following a recipe, so who knows what she ate, bless her. But I love that fascination of the act of combining the ingredients and baking it. And it really didn't matter at the end what it was, but I've moved on, and now I like things to taste good and look good by the end result. So it's taken a few years.
Yeah.
You're way ahead of me.
Like at school, my school, we actually make our own sourdough bread. So we make the starter from scratch and we feed it until we can make bread with it. And we also make lots of baked goods to sell, which is very fun. And last year we did have a program where we'd cook our lunches, but due to COVID, that got shut down.
Are you cooking dinner at home? Do you make dinner for your family?
Yeah, I do a lot. It's fun because you cook something and then you see everyone's faces and they're enjoying it and then you're like, wow.
That's it. That's the spirit behind cooking and baking. It's all about sharing, and it seems funny, but you feel better about yourself when you see other people enjoying what you make, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, what's your specialty when you're making dinner at home?
I like to make a lot of international foods, so I don't really stick to one thing. It's just kind of whatever I have in my fridge and my pantry, I'll just throw it together and make it into a meal for my family.
Oh, good. So you can really get creative, and that's that experience you've really gained over the years. Amazing for being in grade 8.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can just look in their fridge and make dinner happen.
Yeah.
Audrey, it's time for the dry ingredients. We're going to add our flour and cocoa powder. And do you have a sifter handy? Okay, you're all set. So it's up to you. Are you going to sift into a separate bowl or right into the bowl? It's up to you.
I think I might just sift right into the bowl.
Okay, you can do that. You have the sifter that can prop on top. And it is important to sift when you're making brownies because of the cocoa powder. So
Yeah.
We've got a third of a cup of flour. And it's kind of surprising, isn't it, Audrey, that a brownie recipe really calls for so few dry ingredients. Like a third of a cup of flour is not much. And then a quarter of a cup of cocoa powder. And then we want to add our half a teaspoon of salt and just the tiniest little smidgen, a quarter teaspoon of baking powder. Now, usually, I will admit, Audrey, that I don't always I actually rarely put baking powder in brownies, but because we're going to put all sorts of toppings on these brownies, I needed a little lift. Because it will get weighted down by all the chocolate and the marshmallows we put on top.
My cocoa powder is quite chunky.
I know, you're right. It does have lumps in it, and all the flour goes through, but still, I'm left with, I've got a whole lot. Oh, I just put cocoa on my laptop.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Here we go.
The baking
At
powder.
least I didn't spill chocolate on it.
Just the baking powder doesn't even make a difference in the sieve. It just kind of just goes right through.
But it's important that it's there. It is important that it's there.
And then the salt. Bam!
See, I sifted onto parchment paper, but I still got, that cocoa powder likes to go everywhere. Just going to wipe it off my keyboard gently without hitting escape.
I'm going to switch over to my spatula again.
I'm going to use my spatula that I melted the chocolate with.
Yeah, it's already got a bunch of chocolate on it, so why not just put it back in?
Exactly.
It's so thick.
Yeah, it really tightens up. And you know, that cocoa powder absorbs the liquid, so it gets pretty dense pretty quickly. But that's a good sign because that means our chocolate was the right temperature when we added the ingredients. It cooled down enough. And so you have to stir kind of slowly now, don't you? Because otherwise you get that poof of cocoa powder dust in the air. And so I'm just doing circular motions around the bowl, making sure I don't see any cocoa or flour mixture. Really, you can pull it from the bottom. But you know, one of the things I like about this recipe when it comes to baking, you don't need a mixer for it. It's easy enough to do by hand. And in fact, you don't want to use a mixer because then you'd end up with a fluffy brownie, and that's not what we want.
It's almost going to be like a cake.
Here's my batter. Wow. So it's still kind of soft. It'll spread easily in the pan, but there are no lumps. And is yours nice and smooth?
Yeah, it is nice and smooth. It's almost like when you're little and you made, when I was little, I always used to make slime. It's almost like that, but in edible form.
All right, you've got your skillet ready?
Yes, I do.
All right, and you've greased it. So I'm using a 9-inch cast iron skillet, but you could also use just a 9-inch baking pan. You don't have to use the skillet. I just like the idea, because we're gonna eat this warm, that the skillet you can bring to the table if you're serving this to your family, and then scoop right out of the skillet into bowls. It's amazing. And you've got a skillet too, I see, and it looks like the right size.
My non-stick one.
Okay, so now we're gonna scrape our batter into the pan.
Oh, it looks so good. Chocolate heaven.
Oh, it smells. Hey, whoa! Whoa! We gotta put it back in the bowl. We forgot to add the 1 cup of chocolate pieces.
Uh-oh. Back in the bowl you go.
We can still fix this. At least we remembered before it went into the oven. So Audrey, what are you adding now to your brownies? We need a cup of, and it could be anything, chocolate chips, cut up candy pieces, cut up cookies, pretzels. What are you adding to yours?
I'm just adding chocolate bars because, again, more chocolate, because why not?
I love that. Just adding chocolate bars, of course. I mean, if you had leftover Halloween candy, this would be perfect for that. Or you could just take candy bars and cup them up.
That's exactly where mine came from. So.
Oh, perfect. Did you dress up for Halloween?
I didn't go out this year. I went and watched scary movies at a friend's house for a little bit.
Oh, fun.
I just got a box of candy, and that's essentially where all my candy came from.
Perfect. That's the way to do it. I'm using chocolate chips. I have milk chocolate chips and white chocolate chips. So I'm adding half a cup of each to the bowl.
Yummy.
But this really is this is what my mom would let me do. Just take anything and add it to that, whatever the silly batter I made. But now we're just tripling up on the chocolate here.
Oh, it looks so good. Spread it.
Now we can go back to the skillet.
I've already added mine.
Oh, good. Oh, you're so fast. Well, that's probably your hockey playing background too. Are you actively playing hockey now these days?
Yes, I am. I'm not playing regular league. We're starting to play 3-on-3 with only our center and another one, just to stay safe. I actually am on the Bantam A team on my hockey league, which is the top tier team. So that's really fun.
And would you normally be traveling if you were playing hockey in that league, or staying close to home?
Yeah, our loop last year was all the way from the USA to us, so it was quite large. But this year we've shrunk it down quite a lot to only 2 teams, which is what's called the 3 teams, which is us, the white team, and a Norfolk team.
Oh, amazing. Well, I'm glad you've adapted and been able to keep playing hockey. So you're going to have quite the career choice in front of you. Do you want to pursue a professional hockey career or become a chef? Or can you do both? You're doing both now.
I'm not too sure right now. Time will tell for me. I'm very passionate about cooking and hockey, and I'm also quite a science person. I've always been interested in the engineering aspect and just chemicals and stuff, and that's kind of how I got into cooking too, because cooking's a science. Uh-oh, is that chocolate at the bottom of that? Good thing I have a cloth.
Oh, I know. It gets everywhere. The chocolate gets everywhere.
I remember on the show, I got chocolate on my final apron for judging, and they actually had to run over to the laundry and wash it because I would have had a giant chocolate stain on it.
Yeah, and I was guided. My producer said, please wear a chocolate-friendly outfit today. So that's why I'm in darker colors.
Same, that's
Clearly.
why I also have my apron on, because I'm not looking to get my white shirt stained.
Well, I love that we've talked about how you might pursue an engineering career onto cleaning our chocolate stains off our apron.
Exactly.
It's a baking day. Well, you've got some great aspirations there. I love that. And I think, too, I'm with you. The fascination of the chemistry of cooking and baking is absolutely amazing. There's some great resources out there, too, to find out more and learn more. But I think the best way to learn is by getting in the kitchen and making those mistakes so you understand sort of how to avoid them, how to fix them, how to get out of them.
Exactly. You learn from your mistakes, so.
You do always learn from your mistakes. I mean, the fun is that this is a learning process. And I love that even a recipe that I've been making for years and years and years, I'm still always thinking about how can I make it better, easier, faster, more cost effective, more delicious. So I love the creative side too, balanced with the science. All right, you're ready to go to the oven. I'm ready to go to the oven. Let's show off our... Woo.
It's so thick, it's not even gonna move,
great.
so.
That looks amazing, Audrey. Okay, oh, mine was almost sliding. Whoops, I gave it a good spray.
Mine's not moving. It's like when you go to the ice cream place and they flip the thing over and then it's like, oh, here's it. It's like that, but in brownie form.
I love that I'm supposed to be the expert here, and I've got chocolate all over the place. I forgot to add ingredients. I almost had it spill out of the pan, and you're just an ace. You're such a pro.
Thank you. Well, I've made a couple mistakes, but...
Well, you're very forgiving of me, so thank you very much. So we're ready to pop these into the oven. Now, we've preheated our ovens to 350, and we're gonna check these at 20 minutes. This is a perfect opportunity for us to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll be pulling the brownies out of the oven. But we won't be done yet. There's still more chocolate to add.
More chocolate!
Today's podcast is brought to you by Toffee Pretzel Baklava, a giant cinnamon bun, and warm skillet brownies. What I mean by that is, it's brought to you by Baking Day with Anna Olson, my new cookbook. You're going to love it. This book is packed with recipes that are meant to share with family and friends, just like I do on this podcast. Every recipe in this podcast is from this brand new book. And my publisher Appetite, a food and lifestyle imprint of Penguin Random House Canada, is giving you a chance to win a copy of Baking Day with Anna Olson and some of the season's hottest books. Go to penguinrandomhouse.ca/cook to enter by December 7th. That's penguinrandomhouse.ca/cook, and some restrictions may apply. You can also pick up a copy of Baking Day everywhere books are sold. And we're back with Audrey McKinnon, the champion of Junior Chef Showdown. And what did we make today, Audrey?
We're making gourmet goo brownies.
Yeah! And we serve them in the skillet while they're warm, and they're like double on the goo, because the brownie itself, hopefully, if we've done our job, will be gooey. And then we're gonna add marshmallows on top, and then might as well, I don't know, feel like adding some more chocolate, Audrey?
Totally don't have more. Totally.
Are you eating from your remaining chocolate?
No.
But that's part of baking too, right? I mean, when you're making chocolate chip cookies, as if all of the chocolate chips go into the cookies, that's not the point.
About 1/4 does. The other 3/4 of it go in my stomach.
It's true, you always have to buy extra. But that's what this recipe is all about. So you can customize it depending on your taste and what you like and your family likes. Do you have brothers or sisters? I can't remember.
I do have a sister. She's Claire, and she's 16 years old.
Does she have requests when you're cooking or baking? Are there things she likes?
Ooh, she likes cookies. Cookies are her favorite. She also likes pie, cupcakes, a lot of things.
All right, so I'm getting the feeling that your sister has a sweet tooth.
Yeah, she has a huge sweet tooth.
All right, well, I think this one will be definitely a recipe she'll enjoy. You might, hopefully, if things go well, it's a one she'll be requesting from you to make.
Exactly.
All right, I've got 1 minute left on my timer. How about you?
27, 26, 25, 24.
Oh, mine doesn't have the seconds. Oh, this is like when we would count you down.
Exactly.
Would you like freak out when we would do the 10-second countdown? Because that's it, right?
I would essentially grab a cloth and just wipe the heck out of it.
I have to say, Audrey, one of the nice things about watching you compete, oh, there's my beeper. I'll finish my thought later. Let's go check on our brownies, okay? Oh, you're already at the oven. She's so fast. She's always a step ahead of me.
It's bubbling and it looks so good. I'm gonna bring it up here, so I'm gonna move everything out of the way.
Oh, it smells amazing. I can't tip it towards the camera or I'm gonna lose it on my laptop.
It's
That
moving.
is brilliant, Audrey. Look at how shiny it is. But we're not done, are we? We're gonna take our marshmallows. So these are large size marshmallows cut in half. And okay, the recipe said 10 to 12, but I probably cut up 15 marshmallows just to have extra.
I cut up about 10, so I may have to get more.
All right, they will spread and puff up as they bake. So you just want to arrange them in a single layer on top of the brownie. So the brownie is warm, it's in the skillet. It's got that crackly, shiny top. I can see my chocolate chips in there. Oh, why don't you describe your brownie to me, Audrey?
Mine is like the same as yours. It's nice and shiny. It's like when you take a brownie out of the oven, it's got that film on top. And then it's got a bunch of cracks. And then you can just see the little chocolate pieces sticking out. And I just really want to eat it, in my opinion.
Except it's so very hot right now.
It's lava.
Getting that shiny, crackly top is the sign of a well-made brownie. So we've both done our job well.
Do you think that's enough? Oh, that's hot.
Oh yeah, be careful. It's hot, hot, hot.
Do you think that's enough marshmallows?
I think that's perfectly spaced too. You get a 10 out of 10 for that.
Yay!
And now any of the spaces, you can just do, about half a cup loosely of that extra, you added chopped up candy bars. I've got chocolate chips. I'm not even gonna measure how many I'm sprinkling on, but loosely about half a cup go on top of the marshmallows and brownie in a single layer. Because this is gonna go back into the oven. Oh, and I should mention, you wanna turn up your oven to 400 degrees now.
400.
Now I've got a mix of white and milk chocolate I'm adding on top of my marshmallows and brownie. There we go.
This is just calling to me.
Do you ever put nuts in brownies, or do you like brownies with nuts in them?
I'm more of a simple person. I just enjoy a plain, simple brownie.
Audrey, I'm with you on that. It used to be brownies would always have walnuts in them, and I just never really liked the walnuts. No walnuts in the brownies. That's why perhaps we're putting the extra chocolate in.
Brownies to me should just be like almost chocolate cake, and you don't really put nuts in cake, and if you do, not judging, but it's interesting to me.
So we've got each of our brownies ready to go, and I can already tell the brownies kind of setting into place in just the couple of minutes we've been talking. So this is ready to go back in our 400 degree oven. And I budget up to 10 minutes, but really, I think after about 3 minutes, we're gonna take a look at it, because all we have to do at this point is melt and toast the marshmallows a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. I'm just gonna grab another oven mitt because the pan is hot, heavy and hot.
I know, with all that brownie in it.
Back in you go.
I love that you talk to your food. When you were competing on Junior Chef Showdown, did you talk to your food then? I can't remember.
More talk to the cameras and the camera crew and all that, but they're my little children. They're just gonna be made.
Well, I have to say, Audrey, it's been amazing watching you bake and cook today, but also seeing you on the show. You work with real grace. You have an efficiency to your energy, and the way you move around the kitchen, you have a confidence that is just beautiful to watch, I have to say. It's been a pleasure today. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We've got to pull those brownies out of the oven.
Yeah, and may have to try them.
I think maybe. Are you going to put some fudge sauce on top of yours?
Yes, and I also have ice cream, so.
Oh, you brought ice cream too. I skipped the ice cream, but I have it warming on top of my oven. I happen to have some salted caramel sauce, so I thought I'm going to go for some caramel sauce on my brownie.
It's funny because I grew up watching Bake with Anna Olson, and now I am baking with Anna Olson. So, boom.
I'm smiling, and my producer, Jennifer, behind the camera watching things, she's smiling too, because we have worked together on all of those episodes. We did over 100, no, we did 100, exactly 100 of them. Crazy.
My favorite part was probably the drawer that you pulled out, and then there was sugar and flour in the drawer, and then I would just be over here with my my flour in a bag, and you had a drawer for flour.
An entire bin. Well, I don't have that here in my home, but yes, when I had a bakery, that drawer system was adapted from a bakery system where you have these rolling bins under the table, and they're just filled with 40 kilos of sugar, 40 kilos of flour, so you can just scoop right in. So we kind of toned it down a little bit.
Mine are done. I'm going to show it because you can't really see
I want to see
the golden brownness of them.
Ooh, I can see a little toastiness on the top there. And they really puff up, don't they?
They do.
I'm going to go grab mine. And here are mine. I'm going to try and hold it up, but I've learned I can't tip it.
Oh, wow.
So really poofy. Now, again, if you want to keep your towel on your skillet handle, It's actually a chef trick. When you do that, if you pull something hot from the oven, you leave your pot holder or a towel on it so it reminds you that it's hot so you don't touch it by accident. Okay, so now this is where technically you can let it cool because this is going to stay warm for half an hour, but I want to show off the goo factor. So let's dive in.
Should I get some ice cream out?
Yeah, of course. Go get the ice cream.
Okay, I just got to scoop it into a bowl because I didn't want it to get melty.
While you're scooping ice cream, I'm going to drizzle caramel sauce all over this whole brownie. And I can hear my caramel sauce, as it hit the side of the skillet, is actually bubbling. So my gourmet Gooey Skillet Brownies are making sound effects right now. Just sort of hissing and bubbling. And now, I see you've got your ice cream in your bowl, your hot sauce. So it's not supposed to look pretty at this point. Just get it in there and into the bowl. Oh, talk about goo.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a little more. I just want the spoon. Here.
Exactly.
Look, there's my spoon.
Here's mine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be chocolate out by the end of the day.
You're going for the fudge sauce because we have clearly established that you love chocolate.
Uh-huh.
All right, and then here's my little bowl if it doesn't tip.
Oh.
There. Woohoo. Don't burn the roof of your mouth.
Oh. Those are so good.
Oh, you're brave, diving in so quickly.
Yeah, let's say brave. My taste buds are just exploding.
And I got a little bit on the outside edge, and baking in a cast iron skillet, that part turns a little crispy. But the minute you get an inch from the center, it's all warm and gooey all the way through, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
It's early, so like I'm eating dessert in the morning. But I'm not complaining.
That's the privilege of what we do, right? When we share recipes like this, it doesn't matter what time of day.
Don't think I'm gonna need lunch.
I don't think you will do. Or maybe just some carrot and celery sticks to balance it all out. It's been a little while, Audrey, since I've made this recipe, so this is a nice, I'm salivating. It's a nice reminder of why I like this recipe so much. And even though this is a far cry from what I used to make when I was little, I'm so glad that you're making it now. And you've seen how you can get creative with this, right? Like you can adapt this. You want to put dollops of peanut butter in there underneath the marshmallows? I say go for it. You can add and change things up so long as you respect that sort of base recipe. You've got lots of wiggle room.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. We both have chocolate smiles now.
Exactly.
Audrey, I think what counts is that we took the time today to have a baking day together. And there are no time limits. It doesn't have to be a whole day. What counts is this is fun. We have something delicious right in front of us. And we had a few laughs along the way. And it was great to learn more about you, Audrey. I know who you are as Junior Chef Champion, but you are certainly someone special. And I hope you keep your passion for cooking and playing hockey and for engineering going through whatever your career choices are. I'll be watching for you.
Thank you, Anna.
All right, have a great day.
You too.
You're heading back to school now. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for being a part of our baking day. I hope you felt you were in the kitchen with us as we shared baking tips and had a few laughs. You can pick up your own copy of Baking Day at your favorite bookseller, or you can get an ebook version online. That way, you can have your own baking day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.